Hey guys, I hope everybody is having a fantastic morning, a fantastic day, or a fantastic evening, depending on when you guys are watching this. Today I wanted to take a little time to talk about a familiar knife in a little bit different configuration for me. This is the Spyderco Cutlery Shoppe edition of the PM2 in CTS-XHP in Wharncliffe. So the Spyderco was one of the first knives, I would say, higher end knives I brought into my collection when COVID kicked off and I started getting back into collecting knives pretty quickly. And that accelerated, as many of you know. And I started really amping up my collecting of knives. But the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 was always a really favorite of mine. It's a knife that I look at as a good medium size to larger size, large medium, not a larger size knife, but a large medium, full sized EDC knife. It's a classic for a reason. In my opinion, the handle for my hand fits just absolutely perfect. I can get all four fingers well within the grip very comfortably, whether it be for slight cutting tasks, for harder cutting tasks. And then I've also got this fantastic choil built in to let me really grip up on this knife and get a lot more purchase on the handle, get more blade control. With the Wharncliffe blade, this thing is a box cutter, a label destroyer, and really just a great all-around cutter. The other thing I love about the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, I think I've hit on in another video, is how customizable the platform is. So even though the Cutlery Shoppe, I love their knives, I love their blade steels on their special editions, I'm just not a big fan of G10 scales. So these scales actually came from Rock Scale Designs, and they're their critter pattern titanium. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of a wavy pattern that gives the PM2 just a lot of really good grip. Makes for a real comfortable knife. But again, my point there was the PM2 is a platform that really allows you not only to personalize your knife, but to get it the way you like it. For example, since we all know the basic size of the PM2, I was going to compare it against some other Spydercos, but first against a couple of PM2s. This is my S10, S110V traditional Spyderco, that first one that I got in my collection when I kicked back off collecting. This was originally the Blurple, as you guys might remember. That color that's the standard Spyderco color when they do the S110V. But I offset these scales with some copper barrel space or lanyard tube there and copper standoffs and copper hardware. Thought that was kind of cool. And then the other one came to me from one of our brethren here in the community who can remain nameless just because I want to protect his anonymity should he choose that. But this is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 in S30V and a Tanto with some Putman scales and a lanyard hole stopper, hallelujah, and some bronze hardware there, or copper hardware versus bronze hardware over on that PM2. So that kind of rounded out my PM2 non-serrated quest to collect these guys, and I'm still always keeping my eye out to what Spyderco does. They're one who not only I feel does heat treats very well, but even though they might not change their designs, which they do, they get a lot of grief, but they do release designs. They're just not designs that a lot of us might be aware of or be that excited by, but they do switch out the blade steels and push the envelope, I feel, when it comes to blade steels, when it comes to utilizing different steels, and when it comes to heat treating steels right. But another one of my favorite Spydercos, and all the ones I'm showing to Backtrack, are made in Golden, Colorado, planet Earth. So this is the Mannix, which comes in just a smidge shorter than the Spyderco 2, or not quite as long as the Spyderco 2, but does have a little different blade shape. different handle. Fantastic knife in my opinion. This also has rock scale design scales in the graphite titanium with the not critter, this is the maybe reptile carbon fiber or reptile pattern. It's textured, so it's got a good grip. And then another size comparison I want to throw out there real quick, which is another Cutlery Shoppe exclusive in CTS-XHP, is the Shaman, which I updated with Sharp by Design knives, scales in purple carbon fiber. I love this knife. I love Spyderco CTS-XHP steel. It is sharp, it holds an edge, and I've just had no complaints with it. So I'm stoked to have another knife, a PM2 in that blade steel. But the Sage, the Manix 2, where I was able to remove the liners with these rock scale design scales, fantastic knife. I love this knife. The PM2, awesome. Of course, my Shaman is one of my favorites, and since I put those purple haze scales on it, I'm really loving it. And then we have the latest to my collection, thanks to OCD for EDC, who I know he wouldn't mind me dropping his name, because he's kind of a legend in the community and an influencer who's caused me to buy some pretty cool knives and helped me find some pretty cool knives. But guys, most importantly, what I want to leave y'all with today is please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for one another. Take each day and treat it with, love, and treat the people that you come in contact with love. And just remember that we're not promised tomorrow, guys. I love each and every one of you. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for checking out my channel. If you feel so inclined, please subscribe. I love you all. Peace.